Welcome to Seeing This. Today we are reviewing the movie The Gorge, streaming now on Apple Plus. Erica, the feisty Pisces McMullen, is on the call with us. We've got the Gerber baby-faced assassin, Adrian Cedeno. I gotta shorten it. I keep thinking like, fuck, this could be worth. Movie Mamba Mike Ornelas here, and as mentioned, we are talking about The Gorge. A lot of fun things to talk about this movie, I'm sure. But first, you see this, we got a couple news articles we're going to go through real quick. Erica, new Cloverfield movie is moving forward, a direct sequel to the original movie. What do you think?
Well, I'm kind of confused because we got Cloverfield,
Right.
and then on Netflix years later, we got something called the Cloverfield Paradox, where it explained how the monsters essentially got to Earth. So what the fuck is this
I have no
movie gonna be
idea.
about?
I have no idea. Like, I feel like they didn't even really expand to different in two different directions between the movie and Paradox. Is that what you said it was called?
Yeah, the Cloverfield Paradox was like the prequel that explained the time-space continuum collapsing or whatever in space. Then it like launched the monster from Cloverfield to Earth. That's what you see dropping down in the ocean. But like
I didn't see it, but that explains so much.
But like I said, what would the second movie? You could count on me to watch all of the crappy sci-fi movies just so that I know what's going on. But no idea where they're gonna go with that. As you can see, we're all very early in the morning.
Yeah, got to get our caffeine here. So what's great or not great is this is probably the earliest we've recorded, and what, in my opinion, is not the greatest movie, but we'll get to that. Regina Hall, our girl, says she'll be returning to Scream 6. She said there's rumors that she'll be returning. It's not official, but would love to have Regina Hall back. I mean, she's a staple to the Scream movies.
You mean Scary Movie 6?
What did I say?
Scream 6.
Oh, fuck. You're right.
You know what, though? Like, there's a podcast that I listen to, and they constantly mix up Scream and scenes from Scary Movies.
They've already got that bit. I can't take it.
It's like a common thing with everybody.
I can't take that bit. That other podcast has it already. Yeah, Scary Movie 6. I in my brain, I was like, oh, Scream 6, same thing.
She's hilarious.
She's great. I love her.
She was filming a movie up in Humboldt when I was still living up there, and I was like
really?
desperately trying to figure out where I could like run into her because she's hilarious. She's like how Anna Faris is to us, like our generation. Like they were just so funny. Like the duo between them, so funny.
Yeah. I mean, they go hand in hand. Like you can't do another scary movie and not have both of them at this point.
Yeah.
Adrian, I got one for you. New Starship Troopers movie is in the works. Were you a fan of Starship Troopers?
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
I was watching it. Like, I'm sure you rewatch it, and it's like, oh, this is terrible. It's like Final Destination. Like you like it because we were teenagers when it came out, you know. So
and it had Denise Richards in it, so you gotta watch.
Exactly.
Freakier Friday is being released August 8th with Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan returning. Erica, you're excited.
This is a dream come true.
Really? Like is that
millennial women? This is a dream come true.
So this is where they switch bodies, right? Mom becomes daughter becomes
13-year-old daughter.
Right.
This is obviously based on the original Freaky Friday movie that came out way before the Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan one. But so good. I can't wait.
Lindsay Lohan makes a lot of like Freaky Friday and then Parent Trap,
yeah.
right? Original Freaky Friday movie released 1976, based on a 1972 novel of the same name. And here we are in 2025 talking about the next Freakier Friday coming out. So keep your eyes open for that. All right. Phoebe. Oh, I'm going to mess up her name. Phoebe. What did I say? Phoebe?
Phoebe.
Yeah. It's early. Phoebe Denver has been cast alongside Jake Gyllenhaal in M. Night Shyamalan's new supernatural romantic thriller. The film is based on an original story co-created by Shyamalan and novelist Nicholas Sparks. How do you guys feel?
It's gonna be fucking weird.
I was gonna say, like, when M. Night when word of a new M. Night movie comes out, like, does it still have a punch? Are we still excited to see it? Are we ready to be disappointed? Like, how do we go into M. Night movies now?
It's 50-50 with him. Like, we have such good classic movies from him, and then we have The Happening. Like, we've
The
talked
Village.
movie before. Like, what?
You guys all saw Trap? No? Trap was his latest movie, which I was really disappointed in. Some people
And I didn't end up watching that one. The last one that I had seen by him was Old, the one where they're on the beach, which was a decent enough concept. Didn't really like the movie as a whole, but liked the twist. Generally liked the movie.
Maybe.
But that was
all of it.
That was free. There was really good parts of that movie.
For sure. I think it kind of went off the rails at the end, how he tries to tie everything up and explain it. But
we have
romantic thriller.
We have The Sixth Sense. We have Split. We have Unbreakable. We have all of these really good movies from him.
Just rewatched Signs, and it was really good.
I love Signs. Honestly,
he is 50-50. He is hit or miss.
Yeah.
Yeah. Signs, I think Signs and Split are 1A, 1B,
best.
my favorite. Yeah, they're different. Last bit of news here. Black Mirror Season 7 is going to be releasing April 10th on Netflix.
This is the one reason I do wish I had Netflix still, because I fucking love Black Mirror.
It's such a modern Twilight Zone for, I guess, our generation and maybe even the younger generation. And shit got so weird in the world that they stopped making a couple seasons there for a while. So I am excited.
Maybe it just reflected maybe what was happening.
It was too much.
In some of those episodes.
It was too real. But I think season 7 should be good. They tend to have a lot of I think they're doing a repeat of a certain episode. They're bringing some people back.
The one with that's the Star Trek themed one.
Yes.
Where they find out that I don't want to spoil it, but it's they're on a show, but they're not, and they get stuck places. That's all I'll say about it.
The trailer's out for season 7 now, so if you guys want to take a look at that, you can get an idea of what
for sure. I'll go back and then be sad that I can't watch it.
Yeah, you'll have to have a friends night. Just go to one of your friends and do it a weekly thing. But that's all the news there. Let's jump right into our review of The Gorge.
Have you seen this?
Have you seen this?
Have you seen this?
I know, I've seen this. I know this.
High level review. We're gonna go spoiler free to start it off here. I'm trying to think, is there really anything that we can spoil in this movie? And I guess. But
you essentially get everything in the trailer.
Yeah, I think that's fair. But let me read the Letterboxd description so then we're all on the same page of what this movie is about. The Gorge, 2025, directed by Scott Derrickson, starring Miles Teller, Anya Taylor-Joy, Sigourney Weaver, but I don't know if it's much of a starring role. We'll get to that. The world's most dangerous secret lies between them. Two highly trained operatives grow close from a distance after being sent to guard opposite sides of a mysterious gorge. When an evil below emerges, they must work together to survive what lies within. My God, this was so fucking stupid. But Adrian, kick us off. What did you think of this movie?
I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it. I watched it with my son, Adrian, my oldest son, 19, and his girlfriend. Like I said, I didn't hate it. It was a good little love story. It was cute.
It was cute.
I took exception to the creatures in the gorge, but I kind of liked the concept once they brought it back towards the end. So yeah, it was well done. Good fight scenes, good action scenes. I feel like the first half of the movie is a love story. The second half of the movie is all the action. I don't know.
Okay.
It was all right. I gave it 3.5 stars.
What was your? I was looking after I watched the movie for your Letterboxd review, and I didn't see it, and it's just gonna say.
Well, I should probably do the Letterboxd as I watch the movies instead of going back and oh yeah, I watched this.
Yeah. I mean, typically when a movie's over, it's now a habit, which whether that's good or bad, but it's all right. sometimes I
But
need
you're a movie goer. Like
Yeah.
I don't really have like a ton of time to like go
Sure.
movies, but like so that's not something that I put into my schedule. Whereas like you like to put movies into your schedule because you like to go see movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
I
it
mean,
makes sense.
there's also some movies that need a little bit of time to. Well, soon, Erica, soon, I'm sure.
That baby hand gets me every time.
She was waiting for you to acknowledge
I
it.
just wanted you to comment on it.
I see it all the time, and I'm just like,
Yeah, this movie did not require any fermentation for my rating. But Erica, go
Yeah.
ahead. What did you think?
Like we said, Sigourney Weaver wasn't like a big character, which I think they really kind of fumbled the bag with because, in my opinion, she's like a
The
queen
star.
of sci-fi, like maybe the queen of sci-fi. Like she's been in numerous great sci-fi movies, and to have her just like quietly play the CEO of this dark company and like not really get the backstory, like there wasn't really any like evil behind it, right? We were meant to believe that this was like the gates to hell and like there's contaminants and everything like that. And mind you, the movie is PG-13, so they do have to, yeah, I don't know, go within the guidelines of a PG-13 movie. You're not going to get certain aspects from that unless it is rated R. But I really thought they wasted the fuck out of Sigourney Weaver. Like she could have been manipulative. She could have there could have been a different angle like from her, because it was like very, very, very obvious from the very beginning of the movie that are like, oh, they're picking characters that they're gonna kill at the end. Like you knew that like you kind of like already knew that was gonna happen. And then when the guy's being
Take it easy,
rescued,
spoiler, Adrian Cedeno. You know, we're not there yet for.
oh sorry,
But yeah, sure.
what's that? That's at the beginning of the movie when the first guy dies, but like I don't know. Like I said, it wasn't evil. Like there wasn't enough like backstory. Like I understand like you're trying to build like this super army or whatever, but like it's never that simple. Like there's always a second angle, and we never got a second angle. It was just like, here's your story, bam, we're done.
Yeah.
You know.
Dude, that's what I kind of liked about it. It wasn't crazy long, and it was just direct and, you know.
But
to the
2
point.
hours for all of that?
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
kind
yeah. It
We
was
had
kind
80
of.
minutes.
I'll give you. It didn't feel like.
It didn't feel like 2 hours, no.
Feel like 2 hours. I was gonna say it didn't
The
feel
pace
slow
of the movie was decent enough.
for what it was showing. You know what I mean? Like, I guess if there's any positive I'll say about this movie is that like
You
with
get
a
to
lot
see
of
Miles Teller shirtless.
for
And
like
his butt.
you know it's funny. I guess it's not really a spoiler, but you do see him taking a shower and you see like the front of his ab infested body.
Hey, calm down, Mikey. Easy, relax.
Well, but that's the thing is like I clocked it that they're doing this just to show him off, and it's literally 3 seconds,
And it's not important.
and it's not. There's so many things that happen in this movie that aren't important in our show.
Yeah. That's why I said 80 minutes could have had this done.
Yeah. I actually have someone that I'm gonna bring in here to talk about how I felt about this movie. He's in the movie Billy Madison. He was he was one of the principals, not Mac's principal, but a different principal. But once I show you here, you'll get a better idea who I'm talking about and why I feel this way about this movie.
Is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
May God have mercy on your soul.
I'm so excited that we figured out a way for us to watch the clip while it's out.
Well, let's see post editing how it all
comes out.
Hopefully I can make it work. But yeah, and like as I was watching this, I was really optimistic. I had Erica in my head saying like, it's just a movie. Just enjoy it. Don't be too critical about it. You
My
know,
bad, Michael.
I really tried. Like for the first like 20 minutes, I was like, okay, this is kind of okay. All right. But it's okay. Yeah.
No, hold on a second. You said, I'll open the text message. I'll tell you how many minutes.
8
You were-
minutes into it.
Oh, yeah.
8 minutes in is when you were pissed.
Yeah. I was like, I got nits to pick already. But yeah, I think a lot of like the more concrete examples are going to be in spoilers. But at a high level, I just felt like the romantic aspect of it really comes out of nowhere, I think, considering what's at stake. Like you said, Erica, they're essentially protecting Earth. And oh, I see you fucking 1,000 yards away through binoculars or whatever, and I'm gonna break all the rules.
It would have.
Right, but what are the chances that it's a smoking hot assassin chick across from you? You know what I mean? Like nine times out of 10,
Okay.
9 times out of 10, it's gonna be another dude that's just like me, marksman, freaking Marine or KGB or whatever across from me. You know what I mean? And it's only one person for, there's months there.
Is the definition of
I get it.
willing to risk it all. Like,
Well,
this is what that is.
Yeah, and which kind of pays tribute to the things that he's like seeing in his bunker and everything like that. But I think my issue of it, right, like you were saying, right, they've been hired essentially by their governments, told how important this job is.
Should we just jump into spoilers?
Yeah, let's just jump into
Yeah.
spoilers and we'll talk about it.
Spoiler alert.
So we'll go spoilers straight. So the conversation between Sigourney Weaver's character and Miles Teller's character, when she's trying to figure out if he's expendable, if she can kill him off at the end so nobody has to know this secret or whatever. The questions that he's asking alone would disqualify him from going.
Sure.
He's already too curious at the very beginning.
At the jump, yeah.
Right? So that's the most unrealistic part, is him being offered the job. Because what do we see with Anya Taylor-Joy's character? She just says, oh, I'm going on a mission, meeting Moscow tomorrow. Like, they're going to drop me off. Like, she has no idea what it is until she gets there. Versus him, he's already kind of asking questions. He's already trying to kind of figure out
It's
what's
a bit of a
going on.
debrief from his
Yeah.
successor. Yeah.
And so, I don't know. I found it very hard to believe that, within 1 month, they're already like, I'm lonely. When they both already live very lonely lives. Like, the
And if
math
you're-
ain't nothing.
Especially for him, like we have a little bit more background about him being, a Marine, retired Marine. He's a great sniper, which
Yeah.
I thought of my double feature now. He's a great sniper, and
Newsflash, it's Sniper.
but it just like when they start showing the signs to each other, like communicating,
Her
and
writing,
first of all, I had a legit
it's too perfect.
It's very perfect, but it's also kind of small for the ratio.
In straight lines, you're tripping. You are on a blank piece of paper with no lines whatsoever, and you're writing perfect letters in a straight line all the way down.
Yeah.
Be realistic. On both
I mean,
ends.
look, I think you guys read a little too much into it, but consider the fact, like, she's the top sniper in the world. Like,
She
part
would
of the,
have
when she's like, hey,
have prettiest handwriting on the planet.
who made that shot in Yemen? And he was like, oh yeah, I did that. And knowing the whole time that she did it, like, I assume she can write straight. If you can hold a gun for 18 hours without moving a centimeter, like, I'm pretty sure they could write straight.
Here's the thing: the writing isn't the hill to die on. There's plenty of other things.
Yeah,
you
fair.
can
Right,
this movie.
right.
Here,
Right.
I just needed to point that out. That's
Sure. So yeah, 8 minutes in, what I was referring to is when Miles Teller gets essentially recruited in and kind of not really even briefed, but they talk to him. I hate when movies just do an exposition dump and just exposition being like, the background or like just kind of telling you his backstory.
This is the way I am.
I've been in tour. Like, it just did it so lazily of like telling instead of showing. Like, that's a big rule in movie writing, is better to tell. This movie just tells you, you know,
his record
and whatever, and like,
So that was the whole movie too. I think that's why we were maybe so
They're not
upset about
married,
this,
right?
is because
And
it just tells you essentially what's happening instead of letting it play out.
like, by the time it gets to Adrian's action that he was referring to, like, I wasn't invested. I'm like, these are just computer generated monsters that, by the way, they're protecting the gates of hell and they're fucking like free people.
But they're not like, that's just what I think. That's a part of what you guys were missing, is that notion, like, it's supposed to be mysterious. It's supposed to be like, they don't know. That's just what they assume, you know, because his predecessor says, like, I don't know, they didn't tell me the same thing. They're telling me the same thing I'm telling you.
So what did we
But
discover
I'm
by the
assuming
end? What did
it's
we
the
learn?
gates of hell.
What did we learn by the end then? Did it confirm
Nothing.
that? Yeah, we didn't
I
learn-
mean, it was just more of Umbrella Corporation, you know, like creating these monsters because of testing. Like, it's just humans did this, you know.
Like, that's like the other crazy thing about it too, right? Like, they expose it, right? They take out all of the satellites that are blocking
The
the
cloakers.
from the satellites, but then immediately everything's blown up.
Mhm.
So, like, the public is just gonna hear about an explosion that happened in this gorge.
Here, help me with this. From the time he goes to her to the end of the movie, how much time has elapsed? It's only been a day,
A couple
right?
months.
No, he stays with her a couple months.
No.
No.
He's
That's what I
only
mean.
with her a few days.
Is it?
I
Yeah,
thought it was just one day.
That's
Yeah.
what I
One
thought.
night.
They have food.
They
or
have
whatever.
dinner.
Heads back.
Yes,
That's what I thought.
that's what I thought.
yeah,
Oh,
like one full 24-hour cycle at least.
and within that 24-hour cycle, which they know nothing about the gorge, one, they fall madly in love within those 24 hours. One thing he says, I had to write.
No, they're not falling madly in love over 24 hours.
Right. That's over months.
That's what they're trying to convince you, is
Right.
that the writing between them that's happening across, since it's their only communication, that's how they've bonded. They've fallen in love with each other from across and then are finally together.
I didn't buy that. I mean,
Neither did I, but
You don't love. You have commitment issues.
hey, that's a separate podcast.
Listen, you guys understand, like, it is PG-13, so it is playing to a teenage demographic. Teenagers
do that
are
well.
very much gonna pass love notes and fall in love over a month in school. You know what I mean? That's the notion that
you can execute that well. Like, we were teenagers, we saw movies that dealt with like sci-fi romance or whatever, and like, it was better than this. I don't have a problem that like two snipers across the way fell in love per se, but like, make me buy it. Make me, instead of like,
because you're gonna
it's
tell
like, here's
me
the
after
idea,
you're gonna
and
tell me
get it done.
after 1 month of them talking back and forth, they're shooting snipers across the way and hitting target practice. Like, give me a fucking break.
So one thing that Miles Teller's character says,
Terrible dialogue.
is so like, we have to apologize to Final Destination writers because okay, so he says, if the world ends, it was worth it because I got to know you. I literally put fuck out of here right after that. It's like, again, you guys barely started talking and you're like, oh, I'm gonna risk, like, the world could end, but it's worth it. Get the fuck out of here.
But you're missing the desperation of these people. Like, he has PTSD because of all the things he's done, and he's by himself all the time. That's a part of what I think you're missing, and you wanted more of like his backstory, more of his emotional pain, his trauma that he's going through.
Well,
because they just throw it at you and then expect like for you to be like, oh, okay, I can see how they both need each other because they're both lonely, because she lost her dad, because, you know what I mean? Like,
That's exactly what
they
the
all
movie
have
does.
trouble.
The movie throws
get
it at you and expects you to just like accept. That's the flaw of the movie. Is that
Yeah, I would agree with you, Michael, that that is the flaw. I agree with you, Adrian. We're like, yes, the desperation at some point will set in. Do I think that the point should have been that early? No, it should have been like, because they start there in what, September, October,
September?
September. So they start there in September, and by October, they're like I said, they're shooting targets, they're doing all this weird stuff. Like, it would have made more sense for him to be isolated longer for the desperation to sit in, because like Michael was saying, we don't get that in the acting. Like, it's not displayed to us, the desperation between each two, where they're just like all of a sudden like super excited to be around each other and yeah, we're dancing and stuff like that. Like, you can have all of that, but all they could have done was, here it's September, and then the next time you see it, it's like, I don't know, April or something like that. And then that's when you know what I mean? Like, that's when they finally start to like question and do, I don't know. The timeline for me really bothers me.
Again, it comes back to my Billy Madison quote is like, you're awarded no points. I don't think it did anything well from the writing. The acting, like Miles Teller was like on sedatives. Like, he hardly showed any real.
And
if
he's
you might say
got
that's the
like,
character. Yo, he did great in Maverick. He
I'm
was
like, he's
charismatic.
good range.
Yeah.
Like,
But in
I
this,
think in this they were trying to write it for like a Chris Pratt in like the Guardians of the Galaxy type of role, like somewhat serious and desperate, still kind of comedic. I think was like what they were trying to go for, but he doesn't have that like comedic. It wasn't enough comedic lines. It wasn't enough. Like he was
if
just
that's
trying to
what they
be
were
like,
going for,
yeah.
like,
I think he was
really
just trying to be like cute and clever, almost like a Ryan Reynolds and like Chris Pratt type of like little zingers that make like are funny but flirtatious and like cute. You know what I mean? Like I think
just had
that's what.
really great actors and actress that just didn't give us a convincing enough performance.
Anya Taylor, I like Anya Taylor-Joy. What's her name?
Anya.
What's her? What'd you say?
Anya.
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 There you go.
Her accent coming off and on, the Russian accent was throwing me off. I'm like,
Well,
does she have an
Lithuanian,
accent?
but yeah, it was
Yeah.
terrible.
Does she? Does she? Doesn't she? Doesn't? It kept coming back in, and it's like, all right, why? Like, is the thought? Okay, sorry. Is the thought that this takes place somewhere between the States and Russia, and that's why it's the two of them, even though they say we don't know where we are, we're in the Northern Hemisphere? Like, why does she even need to be Russian?
I think it's because it's East and West.
Yeah, that was the only, like, Eastern powers, Western powers.
Oh, so Russia is representing the East,
The
and
Eastern.
America the West.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, again, that still didn't feel significant.
Also, again, knowing where they ended up being, like, it was, so say, like, the explosion happens, and then they did, like, a zoom out so you can, like, actually see where it is, and it being in a dome, or it, you know, like, there was no twist. There was no, like...
There's nothing.
Yeah, for me, it ended up being very anticlimactic. Like, I kept waiting for, like, one more thing to, like, maybe make it interesting.
So,
Never got.
I thought it was like for my double pairing, my double feature, I thought they were just trying to do that. And the double feature I picked was the movie that I saw it when I was a kid, teenager, and I think it's still better than this movie, but it still had the same kind of lacking things, you know, lacking good writing, they're just kind of throwing stuff at you. But again, that's what they were going for.
Let me just throw out a couple other lines that bothered me. One,
I would like to hear, how did your son like it and his girlfriend like it?
I asked him about it last night, and like, hey, I'm gonna finish watching this movie. What'd you think of it? And he was like, I liked it. I think it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. We had fun. Nice. He was like, my girlfriend normally doesn't like things like that. She doesn't like action flicks, and she enjoyed it. And I was like, okay.
It's the beauty of cinema, you know. There's something for everyone, I guess.
But they're teenagers, you know, like, and not everybody is a movie snob that's like focused on writing. Like sometimes,
sure.
like there's still naive and innocent that they can just go in and watch a movie just for
Yeah.
the movie.
And I
They don't
think
need
they're-
something to be a comedy. Oh, well, they didn't follow comedy guidelines. Oh, they
Yeah.
didn't follow drama guidelines. Like,
This
they
is
don't
like
care.
movie making. It's not even like a specific
They-
guy. I get it. I hear
They
you.
don't know.
I
He
hear
couldn't
you.
even film a commercial that we were doing. He was like 7 years old.
Don't
he
bring
got
that up.
scared, you know?
No, you know what? I kind of agree with you, Adrian, that this was not made for us.
No.
You know what I mean? This was definitely, like you said, the PG-13 rating like really makes it, for
Catered
teenagers.
to teenagers.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
Just like Final Destination. Final Destination wasn't made for us.
but at
It
least
wasn't made for
better.
adults back then. Like,
It
you
was
watch
better
it
than
and you're like,
this.
this is terrible. No. I think the part that got you is that this was trying to be like almost like what was that Oscar movie that everybody was pumping up to be great, and then you guys watch it and you're like, this is trash.
Amelia Perez.
That it tried to do too much, right? Like, it thought it was prestige. It thought it was a good movie. This thinks it's a good movie, where Final Destination, I think, leaned into like, no, this is almost like we're making fun of ourselves. We're making, you know what I mean? And
right.
that's kind of what this movie should have done, but it didn't. It took itself too serious, and now that's why you're offended. Like, what the hell?
Yeah. So very offended. He tells her, I love you after, again, 24 hours. He tells her also, that's the closest to hell I ever want to get. And I'm like, what? Was it the tree people that like broke you? Like,
So I liked the three people. I didn't like that they were just one bullet and they die. Like, she's stabbing them in the head and they're nothing. Like, nothing. They're
Okay. So this is where, I'm surprised that you I enjoyed the movie. That right there defeats the whole fucking purpose of them creating this goddamn army when they're that easily disposed.
and they're like, you're protecting the gates of hell. And this is the most hellacious thing you can think of. And again, granted, you said the people are making these people and whatever. But even then, you have a movie to your imagination.
Like, they've been there for that long. Those scientists turned into those creatures that long ago. And bang, bang, bang. Super quick. You know what I mean? They're supposed to be biologically evolved.
like, it's not even headshots. Like, they're getting it like in a stem that's in their chest, and it's blowing out the stem, and then they died. And I'm like, wait a minute. But
there was a snake coming out of one of them, and it killed the
chops
snake.
his head off.
I'm like, you're losing a whole star for me just for unnecessary death of a snake.
You want to know what I did like, though? That I was like, oh, fuck. Like, this part, I was like, oh, maybe this will be good. And then was, like, severely disappointed right after. But when Miles Teller's on the ground at that tree and it's, like, crawling over him. Venus flytrap. Loved that. Was
Good
like,
idea.
that's fucking cool sci-fi. But then we got everything
and then
else
she comes
that we
and just like
got.
shoots the ribs that are tying them up.
Yeah, she just like shoots the claws, and it's like, I won't eat you anymore.
Yeah.
I like that they said the chemical, like the earthquake caused the chemical reaction, right? With the chemical warheads that they were messing with, and that's what caused them to mutate, and that it was mutating their DNA with animal and plant DNA. I like that, and I wish they would have taken that a different direction. Like, that's perfect. Like keep that, but they should be like superhuman. Like, they should not be riding on horses and then 3 9mm shots take them out. Like, no, they should not be able to hold a horse that's mutated with a gun and a rifle from stomping on his face. Like, that's a few thousand pounds that you're gonna just bench press with a rifle.
And that's where I think that they fumbled the bag with Sigourney Weaver's character, where like she could have had her own hidden agenda behind all of it, and I don't know.
when when she died, like they're trying to escape right in the helicopter. I had a conscious moment of like, if this movie stays on brand to itself, she's just gonna die. Like, she's just gonna, and that's gonna be it. And sure enough, that's all that happened. We got nothing from her, really, you know?
And you never hear about the explosion, like, because you know on The Bourne Ultimatum at the very end, where, spoilers if you haven't seen it, but that movie's old as fuck. You've never seen The Bourne Ultimatum?
Just the first one.
You haven't seen all of them?
You need to watch the whole series.
I'll look up for the anniversaries.
Yeah,
see, like that's why we can't take you seriously when you have all these
fuck out of here.
Anyway, there's a scene at the end. I'll just say this. There's a scene at the end of Born Ultimatum, because I won't spoil it for you,
It's
Michael.
fine. It's fine.
But they show like a news clip of like the progress of like
Sure.
what's happening. So then you kind of get like that final like, okay,
It ties
cool.
it into the world at large.
It brings it in. And we didn't get anything that helped connect what the like anything. Like were they specifically harvesting this chemical and
And
trying
for-
it out with different plants? Were they
The thing
doing
too
it
is even just the premise that these two people don't know anything until they get down there, and then while they're down there for a couple hours, just figure everything out.
Well, she doesn't understand any of it. He's figuring it out. He's the one, because it seems like an American private company that's doing it. Like I said,
does.
Sure,
what
but
is
it's
it, dark
still-
something?
for him to be able to just explain everything, like, oh, this means this, and this is what this
Yeah,
was
like for
used
him to like automatically know like, oh, they must be doing this. Oh, that means that
That's
this is
like
what's
the core
happening.
exposition I was
You're
talking about,
protecting
yeah.
their assets, blah, blah, blah. It's like, bro, like
Well, if this movie did anything, it got us fired up.
on a
For-
Sunday morning.
I think you guys expected a little too much from it, and that's why
I
you
didn't
got
even
fired up.
No, I like went into it seeing the preview and being like, I knew it was gonna be corny. Like I knew it was not gonna be an A movie. I knew that going into it. So
But I think we wanted A quality because it was Anya Taylor-Joy, or Anya Taylor-Joy, because it was Miles Teller. You guys want that, like,
but yeah,
because you hear, oh, Sigourney Weaver?
Oh,
Sigourney
they're
Weaver's in it. Okay, boom, let's knock it out.
great actors. Like they're all three amazing. And we just got subpar performances and not enough about their characters.
I don't know how accurate this is, but I think there's a trend going that current Hollywood doesn't really have like movie actor stars outside of maybe like Timmy, who after A Complete Unknown kind of got him up there. But like someone like Miles Teller, Anya Taylor-Joy, like they're big names. They're the ones that are positioned to be this generation's like, you know, Tom Cruise, you know, after Maverick and everything, you know, and like for
Julia
them
Roberts.
We don't have any more
Sure.
superstars, is what you're saying.
And even when they past superstars were in bad movies, they had enough star power, charisma to get the movie over the line. And I don't think either of these actors.
I think Miles Teller's the only one who had like, and Sigourney Weaver, obviously, previous like big movie roles.
Anya Taylor-Joy too, bro.
Anya
But
Taylor-Joy.
I think she's more. I think she was more came out like exploded on the scene after some. I don't want to say like Netflix, Hulu, Apple TV, those type of movies where it's not even going to theater, right? Like I think she blew up.
She was on the biggest TV show on Netflix with The Queen's Gambit.
Like
right?
I said, that's a Netflix. That's not a giant motion picture. You know what I mean?
Both of you. Her very first fucking big time movie was The Witch, and it killed. She did an amazing fucking job. It was a great fucking movie, and she hit stardom very quickly.
She's in June 2. She's about to be in the next one that comes after that.
Yeah.
Like I said, she's not
big movie star, bro. What?
That's
I'm not talking about where she got her
That's
start.
not Tom Cruise. That's not like that's what I'm saying. Like she's poised to be that next, but she's not
on the Tom Cruise because I've seen him in identical movie after identical movie after identical movie,
right,
over and over and over again. So for a man to be compared to Anya Taylor-Joy, which I'd say she has a lot of fucking range, and I'd say maybe Tom Cruise doesn't have a lot of. You know,
He's always running. He's always running.
I mean, you always.
I just like running.
Well, think about Tom Cruise, right? In the movies that you see him in, what do you normally see him in? An action movie, right?
Sure.
That's all you ever think about. There's like what 7 Mission Impossibles?
I think, yeah.
I haven't even seen any of those.
You know what I mean?
You're talking about taking me seriously. If you say Anya Taylor-Joy isn't like in position to
I'm
be,
saying she is, but it's not like epic movies, you know, like in the sense like it's not like Marvel.
Like Tom Cruise's first movie wasn't epic in it. Like everyone's first movie isn't necessarily epic. You need something.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like you need a bunch of blockbuster movies to be considered that. And I'm saying she doesn't do blockbuster. I guess that's what I mean. Like, she's not doing blockbuster movies. She's doing
She is.
Netflix. I know, but they're
You're-
Netflix.
bro,
they're
you're saying- you keep
it's
saying
a
Netflix.
change of
You keep saying
things that are going
Netflix,
on.
but it's only Queen's Gambit. Like everything else has been in the movie theater.
Yeah.
Sure. But are they blockbusters? Are they?
The
I
Witch,
haven't seen them,
the
and
Witch,
I
the Witch
mean,
made hundreds of millions of dollars.
never seen it.
Well, there you go.
You should.
You're still in the closet. You're
I
still
get
in the
it.
horror
I
closet.
get it, guys. Like, I understand she's a good actress. I understand Miles Teller's a good actor. But what I'm saying is, this movie wasn't like these good actors sometimes take shitty roles.
Of course.
And I think that's just what happened here. It was just they took a bad role, and not necessarily it was a bad role. It's just it wasn't on the level that you guys expect. Like, they have a trajectory, and you expect them to stay on that trajectory and not like dip. And this movie quality was a dip, and not even the production quality, just the writing of it, the actual concept was a big dip for what you guys are saying. Like, they've done these kind of like awesome movies, but that's, I don't know. I guess that's what I tell you guys.
Coming from,
Yeah.
I do. But Anya Taylor-Joy is on superstardom level. I'll just say it like that. Regardless if you personally haven't seen her movie, she is now a household name. If you were to say Anya Taylor-Joy in anybody's household, somebody in that household will know her fucking name. She is
From what though?
From The Witch, from Dune, from Queen's Gambit. I mean,
Like when you say
Absolutely.
Dune, I didn't even know she was in Dune, and I've seen both of them.
what do you mean? She's the baby. She's to come. She's in it at the end, but this third one is going to focus on her more. But she is in it. But regardless, I think the whole point is just like, actors at any level are going to have good movies. They're going to have bad movies. It just
But I've seen bad movies with
That's what I'm
good
saying.
actors
That's what I'm
having
saying.
a good performance, but the whole movie is just like, eh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I think that's where we're disappointed, is that two of these people who have very good acting careers that are actually very good actors and actors combined, and then that was the performance we got. Regardless if it's a shit movie, I believe that both of them had hardly any emotion. There was like hardly any chemistry, in my opinion.
I didn't buy it at all. That's what
I
I was
didn't buy
saying.
it.
Like, that's the thing too, is like, if they had chemistry and like I was like, oh, they want each other or they're like in love, I just didn't buy any of that. But whatever.
But like we said, Adrian, it wasn't really
Meant
made
for us. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I
So
think
like, if we're high school students who are watching this, oh, cute love scene, like, oh my god, the snipers fell in love with each other.
That's what I'm getting at. Like, they just
No.
went after like people like us. Like, I'm just watching it because Anya Taylor-Joy. I'm just watching it because Miles Teller. Like, I looked at it and was like, oh, Sigourney Weaver. Like, I want to watch it. And then you get like,
Bitches are dirty.
and then you're upset, but it's not their performances that were bad. It's just the movie that was
all
bad.
of it was
Like,
bad. Their
and
performances were
the
bad too.
chemistry didn't work because as a teenager, you're probably not worried about the chemistry. You're trying to focus on your chemistry with her, or
why we're
your
all
chemistry
doomed,
with
bro.
him. You know what
That's
I
why
mean?
we're all doomed. Nobody cares anymore. Just
Exactly.
feed me slop.
Exactly. And
Anyways,
it's for teenagers, so we're feeding the teenager slop, and then, you know,
here we
And
are.
then they grow up and see a real movie and they're like, what the fuck were we watching back then? Just like we
Or-
did with Final Destination.
Or they see a real movie and like, oh, this is slow, or oh, you know,
Too much talking.
yeah. But that comes to our double feature recommendations. We've shit on this movie and tried to defend it. Double feature. Adrian, you kind of hinted at yours. What are you going? with?
yeah, Resident Evil.
yeah.
So same kind of concept where they just kind of throw it at you. It's for teenagers, based off a video game. You know, just a evil corporation creating mutants and freaks of nature, and then trying to keep it covered up. Same exact concept.
1,000 times better as far as like the imagination of the evil and creation.
Like a
and,
Silent
Yeah.
Hill thing
Silent
too.
Hill, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like those were better. They were, came off of video games. But I think that, like I said, they were trying to do the exact same thing.
Yeah, is this movie based on a book or a video game or anything like that?
I have no idea.
I don't think
I
so, right?
don't know. I don't believe so.
Mm.
I don't believe so. Okay, Erica, what's your double feature?
I'm going to. This is a controversial one because a lot of people were not happy with the voice of the main character. But I'm gonna go with Paul, with
the
Simon
alien?
Pegg and Nick Frost, Sigourney Weaver. A bunch of comedic actors are in this one. But it kind of does her character a little bit of justice in comparison to this movie, where she actually just gets to be a raging fucking bitch and, try whatever she can to get what she needs from Paul. So I love Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. I will highly recommend any movie they are in constantly. I think they are some of the
Talk
best.
about chemistry.
Talk about two best friends,
Mhm.
and then like the British factor. Like, just love them so much. So I'm gonna recommend Paul.
Hot
But
Fuzz got to be my favorite one of them.
Seth Rogen as Paul, I know, ruffled some feathers and people weren't happy about it. But again, I love Seth Rogen, my favorite Canadian. So we're going to go with Paul.
Paul, double feature after watching this one. Or just don't watch The Gorge and just watch
Or
Paul.
just don't watch The Gorge and watch Paul.
So,
Unless you're under 25.
yeah, then have at it. Eat the slop. Mine, the one I thought of last night as I was watching this was actually Enemy at the Gates. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this one with Jude Law. It's about snipers during the war. And there's also a romantic love story. And there's, it's not sci-fi. It's much more grounded in reality. But the way they give depth to all of the characters, I mean, it's Adrian will say it's a snobby movie, but it is like well written, and you got Ed Harris in there as like the main enemy sniper that's taking everyone out, and then you got Jude Law trying to take him out, and it's suspenseful, there's twists, it's emotional. Oddly enough, it's probably a comfort movie for me. I don't know why, but like if it's on, I'll watch it.
You just fall in love with Jude Law's blue eyes.
And it's got a great score. Maybe that's part of it too. I really enjoy the
You're
score.
a score guy. Like, if the music keeps ya, you'll...
If you look at my Apple Music replay, there's movie scores as a top genre. Awesome. Let's do our Commodus score, because I'm curious to see where we're at here. Erica, where are you going? Thumbs down for Erica. Adrian, what do
Don't
you
watch it. Don't waste your time.
even
I'll go
from
even. It was entertaining.
thumbs down.
Yeah, like, I mean, yeah, I don't know.
I'm glad.
We needed more of a story, I think. In my opinion, we just needed a little bit
I think
more.
I'd say it was entertaining because, like you said, it didn't feel like 2 hours. So I think the pace really helped the movie. If the pacing wasn't where it should, like where it was, I think I would have been like, this movie is garbage, waste of my time. But because the pace was nice, like I think it brought the movie up a notch or two because of the pacing. It didn't feel like 2 hours. It didn't feel long. And it was kind of like no real slow. I mean, besides the shower scene, like that was unnecessary, really. There wasn't much that lended to it. It was super predictable though. I was able to predict stuff with my son, like while he was watching it, and he was like, "How'd you even know that?" Like I'm walking back and forth, in and out, doing things, and I watch it for 5 minutes, and he was like, "How'd you know?" And I'm like, I just know.
Yeah. Quite
I
predictable.
was hoping that Miles Teller's character stayed dead.
Let's
But then
go
I
to-
was like, it's PG-13. They're not gonna fucking do that.
He's alive. Let's draft some stock. We've talked about this. We've given this movie far too much time. So now we have our wheel. Can you guys see our wheel? Are we good? Yeah.
Erica.
Okay.
I mean, Erica's gonna have at least first or second. Mikey's gonna have the first or second, and then I'm gonna be last. We're all good.
Let's see.
We got it. What do we need the wheel for?
Erica.
Wait a minute. Congratulations. First pick for Adrian. First time.
This is gonna be bullshit. Well, you know what? To be fair, though, I mean,
Well, yeah.
regardless of, think about it though. Regardless of the shit movie, whoever we draft, gonna be solid.
Yeah. Stop sharing.
Like,
Okay.
you know, if you guys drafted the first two main characters, do you think I'm gonna be mad with Sigourney
Yeah,
Weaver?
yeah. It's interesting to think though of like what's
I
coming.
mean, we're going, future, right?
Yeah. But all right, Adrian, you're first. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. You know, I love Miles Teller. I do like a bunch of his movies, but I'm gonna go Anya Taylor-Joy.
The non-superstar, the little known actor.
I say those things,
and he's like, "Fuck yeah, I'm taking that bitch."
I know her from Split. Like that was her breakout for me. Like I was like, "Ooh, who is that? She is on it. This is a great movie. She had a great role in it." And then now she's Furiosa. So those are the roles that and the chess one.
Look at all this ammo. Look at all this ammo you had, and you're just holding back.
Well, those are the like.
Those are
I haven't seen
blockbusters.
Her movies, those are huge.
Okay, but in Split, she wasn't like she's not. I don't know. I feel like the guy is the main character.
The story is about him,
Her abduction.
and her abduction. It's literally about her abduction. That's why the other girls don't make it.
James is like the guy, like Dennis. Like
that
she.
guy and
All right, we're running long.
Anyways.
We get it. You don't like her.
I got
Put your
Anya.
death in there. Okay.
Anya
Anya.
Taylor-Joy.
Excellent. I'm definitely not taking the director for this one. I'll take Miles. I mean, listen, this is one roadblock he had, but I mean, he's a good actor. Whiplash is an incredible movie. Talk about where you get introduced to someone. So I'll go Miles Teller. Erica, you're going
Sigourney Weaver. I don't mind that.
Yeah. I mean, she's still going strong, you know.
What's so crazy too is like you see Sigourney Weaver's in movies that you don't realize that she has been a part of. So like I have a feeling that what I'm really hoping for this year is that we get a lot of good sci-fi. Like I've just been waiting for sci-fi horror and like all of that to just really just take over, because that's where I think a lot of original stories can come from and where you can really get creative. And so I'm hoping that she pops up in like a really classic sci-fi movie that's coming out.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, she's always welcomed. I think you're right. I think she is
The sci-fi queen.
Sci-fi queen. Like, I think she's the one.
It's
Anything
Alien.
else?
Like just because of Alien, she's the sci-fi queen.
Oh,
like
no,
Here we go again.
not just because. Okay, I misspeak. Not just because, but was that though? Like was that the movie that cemented her in as the sci-fi queen?
I think she was the first as a female in Alien.
I don't think that cemented her as the queen, because she's been in a crazy amount of sci-fi,
Okay,
a great horror
No, I'm
movie.
just kidding.
First of all, whole legit. Sure, there's Grandpa.
She's an
But
avatar, you know. Yeah.
she's been just in a lot of sci-fi where I would
Ghostbusters.
just deem her to be the queen.
Yeah.
But Alien obviously is just like so iconic, so like you can't not have
Yeah. I mean, that really
in the argument.
put
It
her
really
in
like
position.
hits her up there, you know.
You know she was in Wall-E?
There you go. Another sci-fi.
I did know that she was in Wall-E.
There you go.
She is the ship, right? She's not the ship.
The AI that's on the
Yeah.
actual spaceship that they're on, like
Yeah.
the
I haven't
planet.
seen Wall-E.
Beagle.
You haven't seen Wall-E?
I hear it's sad. Great robot.
Mikey.
Thank you guys for listening. We have talked about this movie far too long. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You can find us on seeingthispod.com. All of our socials are
I'm
seeingthispod.
so shocked.
Except for Instagram, seeingthis.pod. Make sure to follow, like, subscribe. We appreciate all of you. Happy birthday to my godson.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Thank you guys. Thank you
Play
guys.
Bill Prince.
Yeah.
Enjoy the day. And until then, we'll talk to you on the next episode. Stay
See you
safe.
guys later.